Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, it's going to be another pop-up Q&A this Wednesday. 12:30. We're going to be here for 30 minutes, right? So as usual, for those who just joined us, we're going to be answering your career questions live, right? So if you have any questions, wherever you're watching from, whether it's from Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, where else? Well, other channels of Facebook lah, right? And like for the handful of people watching on YouTube, majority
Yeah.
of people is going to be on Facebook and LinkedIn. So welcome. Ask us questions wherever you are from. Just drop it in the comments, right? And we will answer it live immediately within the next 30 minutes. So how's everyone doing? Can you hear us clearly? Just let us know how you're doing. Right? But before that, I have something to share with you guys. I've already said this last week, but we at WOBB, we are hiring. And primarily, we are looking for these roles. So if you're interested in joining, a BD consultant role, sales intern, software backend web developer, data scientist or machine learning engineer, software development intern, go ahead, apply at wobbjobs.com/wobb. That's us, right? So find out about our company culture, and if you like what you see, do click the apply on any other jobs that are available on the page, right? So that's it. That's just what I wanted to share with you guys before we start. Now, how's everyone doing? And the more important question of the day is, we want to hear from you, the audience. How early should you arrive for an interview? Right? Let's just get the ball rolling on the questions, Before we start taking your questions, I want to hear everyone's opinion on this. How early do you think is appropriate for you to arrive for an interview? Straight on time, 10, 15, 30, 1 hour before? Let us know. What do you think, Kenny and Eleanor?
Okay,
10
so
minutes.
10 minutes. Okay. My opinion is obviously you should always arrive early for an interview, not on time. You should always be early, but a good 20 minutes to 30 minutes, I think is a good time frame, because if you arrive any longer, it gets really awkward because you're just sitting there and like you're staring at the people in the office. The people in the office are staring at you, and nobody knows what's happening. Yeah. So that's my opinion. I think like 20 minutes is good.
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Same for you, Eleanor?
I feel like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes is enough already, because I've had experience with candidates arriving 45 minutes earlier. And I'm like, wow, what I feel like I can see where the corner of my eye waiting there, and it's not very comfortable as an interviewer. You're there. Like, what should I do? I mean, I don't have time to interview you right now, right? So I'm just sitting here doing my work.
That's because our previous office was a bit smaller.
Yeah, that's also true lah. But then again, 45 minutes, what are you going to do there?
Let's see what the people has to say, right? Before that, Joyce, Louis, I see your question and we'll be answering that shortly, right? You'll be the first question that we'll be taking, so sit tight, right? So a lot of people say 30 minutes early, 10 to 30 minutes. I think 30 minutes is like kind of the more popular answer.
Yeah.
1 hour early. Well, here's my take, right? I personally like to be at the general location of the company 1 hour before, because I don't know how's the parking situation like. I don't know how's the security like in the building. You might need to register. There might be a long queue, especially if you're going for an interview near lunch hour. There's a lot of people at the lift and stuff like that, right? So I think I go there 1 hour early to survey the situation. It's good for me lah. I don't know. Maybe I'm like a very paranoid person, but it helps me calm my nerves lah. So it's okay. But in actuality, how long do I when do I actually go up to the office, like actually enter the office? I would say maybe 15 minutes, around there, because there might be forms for you to fill, and you still want to make an impression there early, right? So like 15, 30 minutes is fine, For interviews, I think on time is seriously late. On time is definitely late. Right? So that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I do agree. The most important factor to really consider that people always forget is like the parking, the security, the entering to the office. Is there any other procedures? That is something that a lot of people really forget. Yeah.
The last thing you want is to go to an interview really flustered, like, wow, very kanchong, sweating and
Yeah.
heavy breathing and that. Not a good look, right? So yes, I think most of our general audience here has a good idea of what they should do. Amazing. So right. So we'll still be taking we'll still be taking answers to this interesting question. So I really want to see what are your other thoughts. Anybody go, beyond 1 hour, 1 hour earlier, or like, just 5
Wow.
minutes before. I want to hear from you, right? Why do you think that's a good idea? Right. So before we take Joyce's question, for those who have just joined us, we are taking questions live from wherever you're watching on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. So drop us in the comments of wherever you're watching, and we'll be picking up your questions live in this next, like about 25 minutes left, right? So with that being said, let's hear from Joyce. I would like to ask, if I wanted to change my career into the e-commerce industry, what should I do to impress the employer, as I do not have any experience in e-commerce?
I would say, first of all, have you done your research? Have you done your courses? There are a lot of online courses on e-commerce as well. And there are also a lot of online courses that allow you to, how you call it, like download a cert. Like you get a cert once you finish that course, and that shows that you have already completed the course and you have certain knowledge of this topic, right? So having said that, you should do these courses, and it sort of shows the company that although you didn't have any prior experience before, you have done these multiple courses to sort of make up of what you're lacking, right? And other than that, I mean, you can also do internships. Internships is something we always recommend. Internships is the best way for you to learn something from scratch and not having your mistakes sort of like, dangle in front of you, like, oh, you shouldn't do this, it's wrong. They are more forgiving when you sort of like make mistakes, because they know that you're still learning, right? Yeah.
Actually, my advice to you, Joyce, is instead of focusing on, not having any experience in the e-commerce industry, my question to you is, do you have experience in the role that you want to go into? Because,
Exactly.
for example, if you're in HR, it doesn't matter what industry you go into, right? Your role is HR. Having industry knowledge allows you more flexibility. It gives you an advantage because you understand how their work will be like, what kind of people they're looking for. But at the end of the day, the importance should be placed on your role first. Only then you go into e-commerce, like you understand the industry, because you sort of need to understand what's the business like. For example, how they earn money, etc. Yeah, it is sort of secondary to your role.
Oh, really? Yeah, I guess that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, okay, that's very fair. For my take on this, right? No doubt you would need to learn about the industry. Not only by, like, oh, I know e-commerce as like people who buy online, that's it. But like, what are the current industry trends now? What is the contemporary talk about e-commerce? What is everything related to the e-commerce industry, right? If you're applying to one e-commerce industry, you got to learn about that company. If you're applying to one company in the e-commerce industry, you got to learn not only about the company's history, but about their unique selling point compared to their competitors. You got to learn about their company culture. You got to learn about their mission, what they're actually doing. You got to learn and find out, find the LinkedIn accounts of the leaders of the company to see what kind of thoughts are they sharing, because that gives you a really good insight on, generally leaders kind of drive the thought of everybody in the company as well, right? You got to know that. On top of that, Kenny is right. You got to learn about how your role relates to, how your role is, how do I put it? How your role plays out in a company operating in the e-commerce industry, right? If you're doing marketing for like I don't know, like a manufacturing company or whatever, and the e-commerce industry is severely different. It's very, very different. So you got to see what does marketing in a company for e-commerce industry is like, right? I think back to your question, right? What should you do to impress the employer? Is literally have you have to ask yourself this question: what have you done in preparation for the role that you are applying for, right? So meaning that you need to have a depth, a wealth of knowledge on everything related to your role, your actual role, the company itself, and the industry you're operating in. And this goes for every other, industry other than e-commerce, lah. Right. So anything else to add on to that?
No, I think that about covers it.
Right. Anybody else has any thoughts, any tips for Joyce? Let us know in the comments, right? But that's our answer for you, Joyce. Hope it helped. Now, okay. Now back to the poll question first. Just give me a brief time, a few minutes. Someone actually said that they would go 2 to 3 hours earlier to avoid jam. Yeah, I think that's fine. If you're, I think I might hear you might not be in KL, right? But I agree. KL traffic is really, really bad. I don't know how to drive there. Like, I don't understand the traffic laws there, so I drive very slow and carefully.
That's why luckily we are working from home.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I actually do have something to add on that. Right, how early should you arrive to an interview? I just want to say that in case not everyone realize this, the interview starts the moment you enter the office. The very moment you step into the office, the interview has already started. It's not in the room, the interview room. It's because everyone in the office has already started basically assessing you, right? And if you arrive there early, make sure you don't get too comfortable as well. If let's say you are in a lounge or things, and people can't really see you, and you kind of relax a little bit, it's fine. But if people are there around you, the employees of the company and everything, and the reason why I say this is because this has happened before, and I have seen this happen, that people actually get very comfortable and they think that, I'm just going to relax now. I'm 45 minutes early. I'm going to play on my phone, answer some calls, put the pillow on my head and like rest a little bit, kind of thing. Don't do that.
You're like giving extremely good tips, but like I feel like that's coming from experience, like.
Yeah, I mean,
from you experiencing somewhere.
It's trauma from previous experience, right? So please don't do that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. We can move on to the next question.
Yes. So but good tips, take into consideration what Eleanor just said, right? That's like coming from real experience of like people that we've actually seen coming in for interviews, and that kind of leaves a bad look on you, right? All right. So let's go to the next question then. Is there any job for iOS that I can do app in iOS, but because I don't have formal experience, they don't trust me? Ali Reza, I think the simplest answer is you don't have to get a job to prove your skill. A lot of people, I think they don't see it this way, or for some reason they don't realize it. If you yes, like our answer is always like, find an internship to prove your skill, yes. But even before there, even without any form of so-called working experience, full-time internship, you can prove your skill your own way. Create a portfolio, create a case that you want to solve. What's stopping you from making an app right now, right here, to prove your skill, so that you can add in your CV and show an employer that this is what you've done. I don't think there's any like same for anything else. Like if you're a creative person, right, you don't have to actually take like an order, like a freelance work or internship experience or full-time position to prove your creative skills. What's stopping you from actually turning on like whatever software you use, or like whatever kind of drawing platform you use to prove that you can do this? Perhaps it could be like, let's say you want to apply to one company, right? You want to propose like a mobile app to them or an improvement to them. You can create a proof of concept based off their business to impress them. That shows your intention a lot, that you want to apply to a company like that. So I think that's a very straightforward answer to that, Ali Reza. I hope that that has helped you in deciding how you can prove your worth a little bit, even though you don't have a formal experience. Any other thoughts on this?
No, that pretty much covered it.
Work on your portfolio. That's all we can say.
Yeah. And for your follow-up question, right, is there any internship that I can go to prove first? I think so. Like, I don't have a list of available internships on my mind, but I think there are a lot of like software developer internships available.
And you can even look for mobile developer internships. These are even more focused to what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I hope that helped you, Ali Reza.
Go to wobbjobs.com. That's where
Mhm.
you'll get your answer.
Right. Next question then. Hakim, is the current economy suitable for a change of industry? Meaning
Depends
you
what
want to change
industry.
job in different industry lah. Yeah. I think in a general sense, right, since we don't have too much detail on this, what do you guys think?
Sorry, go ahead first. I don't know.
Okay, so I would think that first of all, what industry? Second of all, if you have a job, I would advise you to not leave the job and look for another industry or another career. I would advise you to keep the job, but keep looking for other job opportunities if you are looking for a change in scenery or if you're looking for a change of industry. You can look. There's no harm going for interviews as well. And if you do secure a job, great, but don't leave the job without securing one. Don't leave your current job without securing one if you do have a job now. Kenny, go ahead.
Essentially, because there's really not much that we can go upon, regardless of whether or not the economy is stable or not, I think you first need to ask yourself, why are you planning to change industry? Are you looking for new opportunities? Is the industry something you're not interested in? Or what are the reasons? Because like Eleanor mentioned, right, if you have a job right now and a lot of people are still struggling to look for a job, you should not leave the job that you have for something that is uncertain. Make a calculated decision and really decide, why are you changing for a job? If let's say you need to get a better job to pay for your expenses, to afford better things, then yes, start planning your move, but don't change just because I don't like my current job, I just want to change. That is a very dangerous move right now, I would say, especially with how things are. So maybe ask yourself first, why do you want to change your job? And then you can sort of plan from there.
Yep. That's all our thoughts for this one.
Yep.
Yes. Very nice. So let's move on to the next question. I hope that has answered your question, Hakim. So the next one is, this is very similar to the one that we had just now, Amira, but I just want to point out, maybe you just joined us, right? So what's the best way to approach an application?
Amira just commented that she can't see or hear anything on the screen.
Right. Is anybody else having the problem?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you guys hear us clearly? Can you guys see us smoothly? Let us know in the comments, right? Maybe type a yes to let us know.
Yeah. Are we functioning normally?
I hope we didn't get cut off.
Is our face stuck? Like, are we like looking like bad shape right now?
Yeah, let me just dive into our Facebook and see whether we're actually going live or not. No, it looks like we're doing okay.
Okay.
Yeah, looks like we're doing okay, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, perhaps you can just while our moderator moderating the comments, just let Amira know to perhaps just refresh the page lah.
Amira, if you're having trouble now, maybe you can rewatch this later because this live will be safe on Facebook anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you to Tyson Terrence for letting us know that you can hear us.
Thank you so much. Well, let's answer Amira's question, right? Just so she can rewind back and see later. Amira, you might have just joined us, but we did answer a question like this just now, actually. What's the best way to approach an application where you don't have any direct experience for the job you're applying for? I'll summarize my questions fast, right? You can join an internship, to learn and prove your skill there. Or if you want to go above and beyond, you can actually practice creating like things to add to your portfolio without an actual working experience. So what I mean by that is, imagine a scenario, a problem that you're trying to solve, and then what I mean by that is, for example, like one of our previous audience who asked us just now, is a mobile developer. He has asked how does he go about proving his skill. He can create an application on his own free time to solve a problem, as a proof of concept, right? If you're a creative person, what's stopping you from proving your skills, actually drawing, like perhaps, creating like, I don't know, depends on what company you're in. Like if you want to join a graphic design company, have some portfolios on like a range of what you're designing for, perhaps like menus for restaurants, or like social media visuals for different companies, cards or whatever, depending on what type of company you're going for. Because what's stopping you from creating all of this, just because you don't have formal experience, right? Treat it as like an exercise. You have the skill, just execute it, right? So anything else I missed?
I sort of, okay, maybe this might help you out, Amira. You can ask yourself 3 questions. First question, what is the goal, and what is what's the business they work on? What's the goal of the company? What's the service they provide? Okay. Second, what does your role contribute to the company? For example, if you're in HR in an e-commerce industry, you'll be recruiting for people who are good for the e-commerce industry, etc. Or if you're graphic designer for e-commerce, you want to be a good graphic designer that can sell, create creatives that can sell to them. Okay. So third is looking at your current experience. What are the skills that you can transfer to this role? So you sort of like dissect it and slowly approach it one by one, and hopefully this will help you structure your application.
Yeah.
Yes. So I hope that answers your question, Amira. So let's move on to the next one, right? Jennifer has asked, I would like to ask, is it okay if I don't mention health problem? It's one of the reasons that I left my previous company. So there's a career gap, because it might leave a bad impression on the hiring manager. Thank you. Right.
I would say it depends on how big your career gap is. If it's like less than a year, I don't think there's any need to mention, especially in the past year, lots of people have lost their job for various reasons, and there's no real need to particularly bring it up. If you think that this is something that will persist and may affect your future job, perhaps you would like to mention it in your short summary at the top of the CV. Hi, I'm currently looking for this role. I previously stopped my previous job due to this reason, and I'm now looking to enter back into the workforce, etc., etc.
Yeah. I would find a way to spin it back to a positive. Like, I'm not sure whether you want to declare or not. That's like your own personal preference, right? But for me, I don't, like, if I was the one hiring, like, I don't mind. What I mind is, how did you actually get back? What I'm looking for is actually what did you do to actually try to get back into the workforce, right? It could be like, I previously left, I took a break from work due to health reasons for about half a year. But since then, I've been taking some courses, I've been like practicing this and that or whatever. I want to see your effort in how you try to assimilate back to the workforce. That's how you kind of like spin it into a, not spin it, but more like end it on a positive note to drive the message back to you looking forward to apply for that company, apply for the role.
Yeah.
One thing that we'll say though is like, it's all right for you to choose not to share if you think it's not important, but never lie about the reason that you left. Okay, try your best not to lie. It's never good to lie.
Yes, lying is a
don't
cardinal
lie.
sin.
Yeah. I think basically, like what Brian mentioned, don't dwell too much in the past. Whatever reason it is that your previous career ended, it could be health problem, it could be anything else at all. Any bad reason, that any bad experience you've had with the company and all of that. Like what Brian said, just focus on what's the reason why you want to work for this company. Show them that you genuinely want to work for this company, and not because you don't have a job. You want a job with this so you want a job with this company because this was the first one that got back to you. Not don't give them that kind of impression. Yeah.
Yep. So let's move on to the next question then. Oh, we have a lot of questions, so maybe we can like keep our answers short and punchy, right? Let's try that. So Tenzin has asked, some interviewers, when they come in as very aggressive and makes me move out of comfort zone, and I get defensive or I get a little nervous. How can I deal with the intimidation?
Wow.
Okay, I can't
go
answer
ahead.
the part about feeling intimidated, but I have learned a little psychology trick to change your nervousness into excitement. The trick is literally to, when you're feeling nervous, literally tell yourself, I am excited. Because the feeling you get when you're nervous and excited is actually the same. And this is a psychological trick to sort of trick yourself to be less scared and more like, whoa, okay, I'm excited.
Has it worked for you?
It does actually. I do use it, but in terms of how to deal with the intimidation, I think maybe change your mindset a little bit. Obviously, if they are asking you so many questions, they're really interested in getting to know you. You can think of it as that, they like me more, they want to know more, so you answer more. Don't be defensive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, like of all the times I worked with Kenny, I have never seen him nervous before. Or at least I didn't catch it lah. So maybe take what you will from that. Maybe his tips actually works.
Oh, I cannot, like, I'm excited. I cannot do that.
Like nervous and excited, and look like you're planning an attack.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think, Eleanor?
I mean, I have been on the other side, which is I felt very nervous. I felt very intimidated. I think what you should do is not try and rush the answer. So take a moment and pause. Just pause and kind of process what the interviewer is saying. And when you pause, you can actually process it better, right? And you can come up with a more, I guess, less nervous answer, because when you're nervous and then you're rushing the question, chances are you're not going to get the answer right. So you need to like breathe a little. Don't worry about it being awkward or because you are keeping quiet and all that. Just or if you feel like you are nervous, or it seems like you're too awkward when you are keeping quiet, maybe you can repeat the question, paraphrase the question, so that it shows the employer that you are really listening, and use that time when you are repeating the question and thinking to just process it a little bit more.
Yeah. I'll add on to that. I'll keep my answer short lah. I think a lot of times being aggressive and nervous is because you're not as prepared as you think you could be. I'm just like going out on a limb here. Yeah? I'm not saying that you don't prepare. I'm saying that sometimes you might need to, like, for example, go to the office earlier to calm your nerves in this new environment. That kind of helps you prepare for the environment, makes you more comfortable, then you're less nervous. But there's a lot of factors in play, I understand, right? So one of the tips that I can share with you is on top of what Eleanor said, buy yourself some time to think, and also at the same time that helps you to reconfirm whether you're listening and understanding the question properly or not by paraphrasing back the question to the employer. I think a lot of people get nervous during an interview is when they try to describe an experience. When I notice people when they get nervous, right, when they try to describe an experience, that's where their story gets jumbled up. Like there's no head and tail of the story, and I can't make sense of what's going on. So if that's you, right, if that's your situation, I would ask you to Google something called the STAR method, like STAR. It stands for situation, task, action, and result. That's how you should describe a story, no matter how nervous, right? If you remember this flow, like STAR, you describe situation, what you had to do in that situation, what your action was, and what was the result of your action. I think you can tell a very concise answer, even though you are nervous. That kind of helps you keep track. Yes, so that's my answer. Tenzin, thank you for that. Let me see what else can we pick with the remaining time that I have left. But for those who haven't got their questions answered, right, don't worry, we'll let you know how you can get it answered later. Okay. What's the other one that we should take?
I think Lewis one is
we have gotten this. Actually, we talked a lot about this. Online courses. Does it help with applying for jobs? Should you put it in resume? What do you guys think?
Yes, it does. Not put it in your resume. Okay, so when I say put it in your resume, I don't mean clip it or like literally uploading it together with your resume, the cert. You don't have to do that. You just sort of like list it under the skills that you have or courses that you have completed, and if the employer or the interviewer wants proof that you have completed the course, then you present them with the cert. Don't upload it together with your resume. Don't do that. It is not necessary. Yeah.
Yeah. I think think of it this way, lah. You're actually doing something extra to help build your professional profile. If you do it, you spend time on it, but you don't show you do it, right? When your CV is being pitted together side by side by another person who doesn't done it, but perhaps like is in the same has the same level of experience and skill as you are, then people can't tell the difference between these two profiles, right? Applying for a job is a game of who can provide more value to the employer for that position. So whatever makes you more distinct, whatever else you have built, you have self-improved on to make sure you are more fitted for the role you're applying for, right? I think you should kind of like declare it on your CV. What I mean by that is like, give you a perfect example. For some reason, people care a lot about grades. So like, let's say there's 2 4-pointers side by side applying for the same job, right? Perhaps I would then go to, does this person have extra experience? Did they take their extra time to learn more about it? If there's one that has better grade and one that has like a slightly worse grade and who actually took a lot of like extra things to help themselves, right, I would prefer the one with the lower grade, because I see that he has kind of like diversified his timing into different ways of self-improvement. So yeah, declare it. That's our answer, Zafri. And that's all the time we have left, actually. Anything else you guys want to chime in for this last one?
No. I think it's all covered already.
Right. But we do have a lot of questions that we were unfortunately unable to answer. So stay tuned. I'll let you know how you can get them answered, right? Immediately, or maybe you want to wait next week. We'll let you know soon how. But first, I want to drive your attention back to us. So we are hiring for these few roles that you see on the screen here. So you want to learn more about WOBB. You want to see how is it like working with us? Head on over to wobbjobs.com/wobb, or click on the link on the description from wherever you are watching, right? You'll be able to visit our company profile and see all of these jobs on the same page and apply to anyone that you find suitable, right? So I hope you'll do that.
If you want to be our colleagues, apply.
Yes. So then, Kenny, for those who didn't get their questions answered, where can they do so?
All right. Okay. So for like Louis, Chan Hui, Wen Jay, Aya, there's a lot of you that actually have a lot of questions. And if any of you who actually had your questions answered and you still have more than you want to ask, we actually have created a platform called Offwork, OFFWERK, which is a Facebook group which is a group on Facebook that we created to help people with career advice or career questions. So if you don't want to wait until next Wednesday for us to answer, you can actually head over there, join the group and post your questions there. And our team here, as well as other professionals and other peers, can actually share their opinions and their advice to you. So if you're in some other industry, we have other industry experts there as well that can maybe share even better thoughts on this subject. So yeah, please join us at wobbjobs.com/offwork or search for Offwork on Facebook.
Yes. Well, the other way is for you to wait one whole week for us, and we'll go live again, right? Next week. So it's up to you, but I would definitely prefer if you ask your questions now while it's still fresh, right? So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, we'll still be doing this kind of session every week if it's beneficial to you. So if you like the session, please give us a thumbs up, or however else you want to give a reaction to us. We'll do it as long as it's still relevant for you, right? So thank you for tuning in. See you guys next week then.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Thank you for joining.